Good afternoon, everyone. You are more than welcome to this conference, Tactile Reading. And I will start to introduce myself. I'm Yvonne Eriksson, and I'm a professor in information design at Mälardalen University. And I have been involved in Braille and tactile pictures for many years now. I have been a member of the Swedish Braille Authority, and from a year ago, I'm a member of the Academic Advisory Board of the Swedish Agency for Accessible Media. I'm honored to be the moderator of this conference, Tactile Reading, Braille and Graphics for Children and Youth. In 1833, the first European Congress of Teachers of the Blind was held in Vienna. The Congress met every 3 years until 1920s. After the First World War, the Congress changed name to Congress of Welfare of the Blind, and that is probably due to the reason that they changed name because of the First World War, when there were many people that became blind during the war, especially soldiers. The meetings of the teachers of the blind are well documented. The lectures from the Congress were published. It is therefore possible to follow the debates on pedagogy to gain insight to the pedagogic methods which were advocated and implemented in the late 19th century and early 20th century. The focus was very much on how to support children in their education and help them to develop and to gain some kind of education, often a handicraft education. A dominant theory and idea was Anschauungsunterricht, which could be translated to Outlook education in English. The aim of Outlook education was to hinder the children with blindness to spend too much time on fantasy. Instead, the teachers wanted to give the children a tangible and concrete understanding of objects and concepts. Following the debate from late 19th century until the mid-20th century, it is clear that the pedagogues engaged in the education of children of blindness was very eminent. When we now meet people engaged in tactile reading, in this conference, I can tell from reading the program and the abstract that we will have 3 days with eminent speakers, even in the beginning of the 21st century. This conference is hosted by the Swedish Agency of Accessible Media, MTM, and the National Agency for Special Needs Education and School, SPSM. With these words, I will open the conference and leave the floor to Magnus Larsson, Director General at the Swedish Agency of Accessible Media, MTM, and Greger Båth, Director General at the National Agency for Special Needs Education and Schools. The floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Dear colleagues and friends, very welcome to Stockholm and the conference Tactile Reading 2017 Braille and Graphics for Children and Youth. My name is Magnus Larsson and I am the General Director of the Swedish Agency for Accessible Media, MTM.
Yes, and I'm Greger Båth and I'm a Director General for this authority with a very short name, National Agency for Special Needs Education and Schools, and in short, SPSM.
MTM receives its mandate from the Ministry of Culture. The mandate is to ensure that people with reading impairments can access literature, daily newspapers, and community information, regardless of reading ability, literacy, or disabilities. Our vision is that information should be available to everyone at the same time, at no additional cost, and in a format of their choice.
Yes, and SPSM, we receive our mandate from the Minister of Education. and to ensure that children, young adults and adults, regardless of functional ability, have adequate conditions to fulfill their educational goals. We do this through special needs support, education in special needs schools, providing accessible teaching materials, and government funding. Through the years, both together and as individual agencies, MTM and SPSM have produced accessible material to meet the needs of individuals who need information in a different format than that of the original.
Sweden has a long tradition of partaking in international cooperation regarding accessible solutions and developments. Today, it's the great pleasure of MTM and SPSM to stand as joint organizers of an international conference of great importance. The conference reflects the need to meet and share new research and experiences about children's tactile reading. The link between research and functionality is vital to ensure that individuals have access to information based on their needs and functional abilities. We also would like to remind us all in this moment what is said in the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. And that is Article 24. In that article it says, "States parties shall enable persons with disabilities to learn life and social development skills to facilitate their full and equal participation in education and as members of the community. To this end, states parties shall take appropriate measures, including facilitating the learning of Braille, alternative script, augmentative and alternative modes, means and formats of communication and orientation and mobility skills, and facilitating peer support and mentoring."
Yes, and the aim of this conference is to create an international forum for people working with children and youth with visual impairment and blindness. What started as an idea by the Swedish Braille Authority in 2013 has matured into an international conference, bringing together participants from all over the world. And today we are more than 340 persons from 28 different countries attending this conference. And with a common goal to share experience and research, promote best practice, and inspire to new ideas, to future research, and to collaboration in the field of tactile reading. During the preparation, we have met a great interest, showing the need for an international conference within this field. We hope that this conference will be the first in a series, and we suggest it should be continued every third year in other countries. One of these 28 then is the next one. See which is the lucky one. Significant speakers within the field of tactile reading are participating at this conference. And we hope that you all will take the opportunity to talk to each other, learn from each other, and share with each other in order to gather knowledge about children, pupils, and students who are Braille readers. By the way, take a look at the person or grab the person sitting next to you. Is this someone you already know? In that case, please do something about this after the first break. Now, Magnus and me finally would like to say together, thank you all for coming and welcome.